Come see us doing live shows. We'll be in Los Angeles, Honolulu, Baltimore, Atlantic City, Cohoes, New York, Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets, and only jimmydore.com. So if you want to know who's been starting all the wars in the Middle East, it's the Benjamin Netanyahu, and he uses the United States to do it. And you think I'm kidding? Let's watch. Here is Jeffrey Sachs, and he's gonna tell you what really happened in Syria, what's really happened in Iraq. Wait till you hear what really happened in Iraq. Watch this.
For example, the war in Syria, and you may actually hear from grown-up reporters who are lying through their teeth or ignorant beyond imagining that, oh, the war in Syria, yes, Russia intervened in Syria. Well, do you know that that Obama tasked the CIA to overthrow the Syrian government, starting 4 years before Russia intervened? What kind of nonsense is that? And how many times did the New York Times report on Operation Timber Sycamore, which was the presidential order to the CIA to overthrow Bashar al-Assad?
So they had a name for it. They called it Timber Sycamore. That's the CIA project to overthrow Bashar al-Assad, the leader of Syria. That a name for it.
Just now hearing about it. I never heard of
it. And that's what it's called. And I think it's even, if you look up Timber Sycamore in Wikipedia, they even talk about it. So really? the president gave the order for the CIA to do this. So they funded this dirty war to the tunes of billions of dollars. But okay, keep going.
3 times in 10 years. This is not democracy.
And he says, how many times did the mainstream media mention Timber Sycamore? He said 3 times in 10 years. It was mentioned.
That's why I missed it.
It was only mentioned 3 times because they don't want you to know about it. And he says this is not democracy.
This is a game, and it's a game of narrative. Why did the U.S. invade Iraq?
Watch this.
In 2003. Well, first of all, it was completely phony pretenses. It wasn't, oh, we were so wrong, they didn't have weapons of mass destruction. They actually did focus groups in the fall of 2002 to find out what would sell that war to the American people. Abe Schultzky, if you want to know the name of the PR genius. They did focus groups on the war. They wanted the war all the time. They had to figure out how to sell the war to the American people, how to scare the shit out of the American people. It was a phony war. Where did that war come from? You know what? It's quite surprising. That war came from Netanyahu, actually. You know that? It's weird.
No.
And the way it is that Netanyahu had from 1995 onward the theory that the only way we're going to get rid of Hamas and Hezbollah is by toppling the governments that support them. That's Iraq, Syria, and Iran. And the guy's nothing if not obsessive. And he's still trying to get us to fight Iran this day, this week. He's a deep, dark son of a bitch, sorry to tell you. Because he's gotten us into endless wars, and because of the power of all of this in the U.S. politics, he's gotten his way. But that war was totally phony. So what is this democracy versus dictatorship? Come on. These are not even sensible terms.
So it's Netanyahu's idea to go to war in Iraq. Wow. Lucky break. 9/11 happened then.
Yeah.
Really?
You know, you play the cards you're dealt, Jimmy.
And all the things that Jeffrey Sachs is saying there is true. And so I don't understand why he hasn't been destroyed by several state and private actors yet. Does he know a guy or something? But
he must.
He must. But
he's been Alex Jones.
But he's been marginalized. I mean, they just, they don't bring him on. They brought him on MSNBC once, and he told the truth about Syria, and then that was it. And
but
now he's got
out truths where, like, you get put in prison.
Yeah.
Everything he said is real, and I'm like, when he's saying it all together like that, it sounds real bad. And I remember you got hacked by Pegasus.
Yes.
For saying something similarly true at the UN.
I'm sure he's been hacked by Pegasus.
Oh, yeah, okay.
This is from Vox. Benjamin Netanyahu's not so prescient 2002 message to Congress about Iraq. What? Are you suggesting that the man responsible for 9/11 is also responsible for starting the Gulf War? Netanyahu is the victim here. Just ask him. And by the way, no, it was prescient. He knew America would do whatever he wanted because of all the
Yeah,
blackmail Israel has on our satanic pedophile leaders.
Yeah,
So they'll
do whatever.
So here we go.
Young.
Watch this.
Looks like Paul Simon.
If you take away the Soviet Union and its chief proxy, the PLO, international terrorism would collapse.
If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. Obviously, we'd like to see a regime change, at least I would, in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq. The question now is a practical question. What is the best place to proceed? It's not a question of whether Iraq's regime should be taken out, but when should it be taken out? It's not a question of whether you'd like to see a regime change in Iran, but how do it...
Are there any other nations that you would recommend that the United States launch preemptive attacks upon at this point?
The answer is categorically yes. The two nations that are competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran. But a third nation, by the way, is Libya as well. Libya is trying very rapidly to build an atomic bomb capability. So you have here now three nations.
All stand together to stop Iran's march of conquest, subjugation, and terror.
Yay! Yay! Oh, what a mensch.
No matter on which side of the aisle you sit, you stand with Israel.
Yes, that's true. Encore, sir. Yay.
So, I mean, look at how long has this guy been in charge over there? I mean, he's been in charge since he was being played by Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah, back when he was still in that band with Garfunkel.
It feels like a long time, is all I'm saying. Can you imagine if Trump was in charge of the United States for as long as Netanyahu's been in charge of Israel?
Of the United States, I mean. As long as Netanyahu's been in charge of the United States.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my God, these rogue states could get nuclear weapons. You mean kind of like how when Israel stole nuclear secrets from France and then secretly passed them along to the apartheid South Africa while publicly condemning South Africa as cover, since of course Israel supported apartheid. You mean like that?
Rogue states, Jimmy, and the guy that ratted him out, the Israeli who told the truth about it, they keep him locked down to this day.
And so this is why we've done all these wars, because Israel completely controls the AIPAC and Israel controls our government and our war policy. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why every one of these wars. You don't think the Mossad was involved in building 7? You don't think so? Really, who did it then? Because somebody blew it up.
Well, it's a big tent, Jimmy. Don't forget that the Saudis help in Pakistan, and of course MI5 and our old pals.
Right.
Israel's just like the face man on this. You're the point man on this operation, Israel.
Vox says Netanyahu was a rather aggressive Iraq hawk back in the early 2000s. There's no question whatsoever that Saddam is working and advancing towards the development of nuclear weapons, he said in 2002. Once Saddam has nuclear weapons, the terror network will have nuclear weapons. By the way, what is a terror network, and do they carry it on Hulu?
Is that? Yeah, is that what channel is that by after?
I love all their foreign programming. That's what I love.
What do you like better, Fox, MSNBC, or the Terror Network?
Not only did Netanyahu get the nuclear issue wrong, Saddam was not building a nuclear program after all, but he incorrectly predicted that the war would inspire an Iranian democratic uprising that would topple the theocratic regime.
You mean like Israel has a theocratic regime of far-right lunatic religious extremists to the point of where they're, I call them Ashkenazis?
Benjamin Netanyahu is the stadium jumbotron of projection, just so you know.
Yeah, that's a good.
Just so you know. He always warns you about what he's actually planning. That's what he's doing. And then and then when he claims someone else is about to do it, that's how you know that's what he wants to do. Everything they do is based on some infantile schoolyard behavior. Well, she hit me first, like a child's mentality. That's what this is. And here's
that's worse than that, because it's like if they paid a child to hit them so they could kill their whole family.
and by the way, he didn't get the issue wrong. He lied.
Yeah,
And then we got the issue wrong.
right. Because you better.
Because you better get it wrong, or AIPAC will primary your ass and you'll be out of power.
And I'm not even a good SNL sketch about it. We won't even accept that.
And they'll get you fired. They'll get you fired from your professorship at a university too. You know, when Mersheimer wrote that book telling the truth about Israel, he's now canceled. He's persona non grata.
Oh, like Jimmy Carter after he said the apartheid thing that turned out to be a little bit of an undersell on what they're doing.
If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that they will have enormous positive reverberations on the region, Netanyahu claimed. And I think that people sitting right next door in Iran, young people and many others, will say the time of such regimes, of such despots is gone.
It sounds like he's selling you a penis growing formula. Enormous positive reverberations in only 6 weeks.
It feels like I'm buying a stereo cassette deck from Crazy Eddie in 1986 reading this shit.
He guarantees it, Jimmy.
I guarantee you. I think what you'll get next.
Uh,
And when a psychopathic narcissist says something's going to be good for everyone, he only means it's going to be good for him. They don't know how to feel for others. That part of them is missing.
Well, I just think it's great of our leaders to have no hard feelings about the blackmail thing. In fact, kind of admire what a snake this dude is. Because, you know, they do. They're like, oh, you got me. You got me at Epstein Island. Oh, BB. Let me do your dry cleaning.
He's like the douchebag father who buys his 8-month-old daughter a Harley Davidson. Look, I'll keep it running for you until you're old enough to use it. So that should be stunning to you. Again, most people don't know this. Most people will deny it.
Oh, yeah.
That no, we like everybody at the Young Turks, everybody at MSNBC, everybody at CNN and the New York Times, they'll deny this.
They better.
And Vox reports it like it was an oopsie.
Yeah.
He didn't get it wrong, Vox. This is his
this guy
plan.
makes a lot of mistakes, but he keeps getting hired. That's weird. His name, his fake name that he goes by, means gift from God, given by God. Netanyahu. That's his stage name.
His real name is like Walensky or something.
Yeah,
It's a Polish name. And why did Netanyahu change his name? Because he doesn't want you to know he's not actually from Israel.
He's kind of like Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
She's also not from
Israel. He doesn't
Israel,
want you to know that Zionism is actually an Eastern European project.
I mean, you probably should have guessed from the flag, because that's not a symbol they ever had.
Come see us doing live shows. We'll be in Los Angeles, Honolulu, Baltimore, Atlantic City, Cohoes, New York, Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets, and only jimmydore.com.